Oh, let's start, Jan.
Mike Dawson,
I'm here.
Tom McDonald,
Here.
Jennifer Finley, Jim Molitor, Carol Langford, Danielle Matt,
Here.
Bing Matt, James Steele Jr.,
Una.
Martin Charlo,
Engaged.
Len Tootie, Lenise Trahan.
We're always the last speaker, but. Len, you want to give us a prayer? Yeah. Thank you, Len. We have minutes. What date is on? 24th, June 24th minutes.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, thank you. I make a motion to approve the June 24th, 2025 minutes with, I didn't hear any corrections, so I'll just motion to approve.
Motion by James to approve the June 24th minutes. Second by Jimmy. All in favor? We have 8-4 and Tom abstain. We have an agenda. Anything for the agenda? Bing. James. Tom. Oh. I got one thing. Jennifer. Okay.
I got one executive walking.
Executive walk-in. Motion by Tom to approve the agenda with additions. Get a second here. Second by James. All in favor? We're unanimous. Is John here? We'll go out of regular into executive. Bing, you have an issue. Bing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We got a couple of things here anyway to let the form the council about. Yesterday, I heard from the powwow committee that there's not going to be any security at the powwow this year. Same with Elmo. They don't have any, they didn't get anybody hired through DHRD. And the security that's gonna be there from L&O is just gonna be at the gate. And what I hear, there's only gonna be a couple officers on duty at most of the time there. I guess funding issue is something going on over there, but I don't know what we're gonna do about security. You know, I believe there's gonna be some liability issues by not having any security there for the people and the amount of people that we're gonna have there. Well, I don't know what we can do about it, you know, anything, but we got this through one of the officers, informed one of our Powell committee members, and they told me about it last night. But another one, deal is that, well, I was telling you, DHRD, they didn't hire anybody to, you know, like they did last year. And last year, they only hired one person to do it last year. That's all we had on the grounds last year, was a one individual. And it was usually a young person that was doing it, you know, and he'd run to a lot of times I see him going to his camp and going to his little tent there, and he would come out for quite a while. But, you know, I don't know what we're gonna do about security. And also we have some power outlets up there on the south and west side up there are still not working. They're supposed to have an electrician up there to check it out, and I guess he came, but I don't know what he did, but he sure the heck didn't look at the outlets and whatnot up there on the power ground. So I don't know what's gonna take place with a lot of them outlets on the west side of the grounds where all the trailers and stuff hook up there. And then on the south side over there, too, the same deal there. They got outlets out there. Don't work out there either. So I don't know what they try to get a hold of these guys over here, but it's almost impossible to get a hold of anybody. They won't answer a damn phone. But it just idea of you know, trying to let somebody know what's going on so they can send somebody down, but they haven't had any success in doing this at all. They were going to use that foundation where they took off the old bathroom on it, where they tore that out. That cement pad they were going to have there. They were going to put some outside toilets on top of there, and they were supposed to put some lighting out there so that they could use that. But I don't know whether or not they're going to be able to do that now or not without no lighting there. But you know, it's just the idea of things that were supposed to get done didn't get done. You know, and hopefully that Elmo is not going to have the same issues that we have, you know, up there. But it's going to be a pain in the neck, you know, and I wait till like all this time they had to get things done. In the last 2 weeks, they started doing a few things, and that was it again. You know, it was just the same old rep as it has been in the last few years, couple of years. But you know, it gets to be a pain in the neck when I find out something like this, you know, happening, that we don't have any security, mainly, you know, and like I say, I don't know what Craig has over here for funding, if he has any at all, but I guess that's what the issue is that they don't have any funding to bring the security people up there and be in there like they are, you know, I mean, it's supposed to be, but I don't know, I just thought, you know, they told me about it, they're concerned about it up there, and I don't know what council has anything to add or whatever. So I thought I told them I'd bring it up today in our meeting this morning, so that's what I'm doing.
Go ahead, Martin.
I mean, the complex is pretty quiet the next few days. Could we possibly reassign our security people there or figure out some way to move them, compensate them It would have to be change of duty, otherwise it's gonna be overtime, but I mean, that's a 24/7 coverage, or at least, nighttime coverage for sure. You want security down there. The day isn't as bad, but yeah, or the front desk people. I mean, I'll go work. I'll make some money.
Danielle,
I don't know if there's still a tribally owned security company that we could third party hire possibly. Didn't Jody Steele maybe, is that who it was at one point? What's it called, Lynn? North Star Security, maybe we can call them and see if they'll give us a bid on it, and then they can do all of the personnel stuff behind the scenes and maybe get us covered.
any other thoughts? Nick? Nick, running that?
Joe.
Well, thank you, Bing, and yeah, Lynn, if you can get that right away. Yes, Carol.
People tell me that they were working the powwow, so I don't know insecurity, and I don't know. So who are we who's talking to who? Can we have Craig come over?
Uh, we probably can. I'm thinking we
If
probably
it's a-
don't need to. We make contact with Greg and
If it's a
just make
funding
sure we
issue,
know.
I'm thinking that we may have to buck up some money, but I think let them handle it. I mean, they've handled it all the other years. They need
Bing,
money.
you said that Law and Order said that they'd be at the gate, right? And so maybe that's what the folks you've talked to are referring to, is that they would be at the gate. No? Well,
Now, Mike McRae, when he come and talked about his daughter coming back from treatment, he said that they were gonna go sign her up to be security for our late powwow. So
yeah, I can contact Craig and find out what's dedicated, what's not. And if Len will make connection, we talk about that as well. James?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. I sent out an email just remember I had talked last year about trying to get a economic impact study. So I got kind of a proposal back yesterday or today. Asked Jennifer to send it to everyone. Mostly I just want everyone to, if you get a chance to look at it, and maybe some meeting down the road not next week, maybe the next week after, to kind of talk about it and think about it. I sent it to Jordan and Greg as well. So, and then the other issue was Jennifer and I were emailed by Cindy Marengo. I visited with Greg about that issue, and it sounds like he's got it kind of figured out, some of the stuff he talked about to council on Monday. So thank you.
The ARPA stuff. Okay. Tom?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Quickly, I did mention a little bit before we started the trip up to Canada, but we're required as under the Boundary Water Treaty Act for engaging the International Joint Commission, the subset, which is the governance board, which I sit on. And then underneath that, there's a study board also that we have folks on, and other subset boards that we have people on. They're required to have an in-person meeting. That was just this past few days up in Fernie and Grasmere, and over in Cranbrook. There was a one-day meeting and 2 days of field trips. And they're looking to set up another in-person meeting because of all the things that are coming forward quickly, because there's a 2-year sunset for some of the information, the way the board's set up. and they were looking for a host. They would prefer to have a fly-in because people are from all over. They're from Montreal, they're from Vancouver, they're from Washington, D.C. They were hoping to have it close to an international airport like Kalispell or Missoula or Minneapolis or someplace like that, Seattle, someplace where people can fly in easily. But the BC representative on the governance board said he was favoring trying to push to have it in Missoula or Kalispell. And then maybe it's not that too much of a struggle for people to rent cars and come down here. So there is a potential if we wanted to host and front that expense for hosting a meeting room at Quatucknuck to try to do that in December. So we would need to know that by July 10th. That's when the next board meeting is. If council's interested in that, or you want to think about it. Otherwise, it still could be there, but if we wanted to get them here on the res, we would probably have to provide that venue. Otherwise, the governance body would cover that themselves. The International Joint Commission staff cover that if it's at an airport or some other city. Anyway, that's that update. The field trip was shocking, and I've never seen anything like that in my entire life up close and personal like that. It's incredible to see the devastation, the sheer volume of material and mountains that are leveled, and the total disregard of the environment, where they just take for every truckload of metallurgic coal. The coal is used to ship over. It's made into coke. What it does is they use that for the blast furnaces to make steel. So that's this coal has that grade that's not used for power plants or things like this. This is actually the production of steel. It all goes over to China, South Korea, Japan. Those are the big markets. And so most cars that you buy today, like my cars that are from, Kia or Hyundai or Toyota, they're probably made, not probably, they are made with steel that is fired from the coal from Elk River up in Canada. And so their market's pretty big. It's dropping a little bit with China is producing more metallurgic coal as other minerals and products from their landscape. Anyway, it takes about 10 to 12 loads of waste rock to produce one load of coal. And as that waste rock builds up over time and they fill in canyons, it's like filling in all of North Crow Canyon with waste. And so that's not being revegetated, it's not being replanted. And when it rains on it, snows on it, that filters down, and that rock that's exposed provides an extra venue for selenium, which is natural in the environment, to get into the runoff, and that's what's polluting the Elk River and the Kootenai River, Lake Kootenai, and downstream effects. So they struggle with that, and they're trying to treat that water. So they put a big ditch below each one of those big fill mountains that they create and try to get all that water, and they're trying to put it into these treatment plants, which are all basically, in my opinion, all experimental. They've had a couple that have been running since about 2015. They're building a brand new one that's actually quite exquisite. I'm actually excited about that one. It's a reverse osmosis that definitely will work, but it works so well, you end up with sterile water, and which isn't natural. So then you got to add other things back into the water to make it more like a high mountain stream, a headwater stream. But it's under construction right now. But it was quite a trip. Glencore, who bought out Tech a year and a half ago, they call that Elk Valley Resources is the company, and they hosted the field trip, and they did a pretty good job hosting us. The snow line was down, so we walked in the snow a little bit, but they don't stop. They don't stop with the weather. They have one mine that's massive, and the trucks are as big as this room. That the trucks run. They had 26 trucks that were automatic, no driver, and they run 24/7. And then you can sit there and look way up on the mountains, way up on top of the mountains. You can watch them where they're leveling some mountaintop, and all of a sudden you see this truck, and then just dumps, and it just tumbles down the mountainside all the way to the bottom. And that's how they operate. It's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And it's just one mess after another. You know, I said, well, you know what? I was raised that I don't start a new mess until I clean up my old mess. And, you know, we would never fill in a stream or a river or do that. And I said, you know, I just did a lecture on the Clark Fork River, and this reminds me so much of the Berkeley Pit and the Anaconda Carpet Company, and all the effects of the upper Clark Fork all the way down to the confluence of Flathead. And I said, you don't know what you have to lose. This river is exactly like the Clark Fork. It is. The Elk River is exactly like the Clark Fork. Same bull trout, cutthroat trout, you know, native fishery, and such an important resource. You don't realize what you have to protect there until you lose it, like the Clark Fork. I said, you guys are on the verge of losing this beautiful bull trout, West Slope cutthroat fishery, and the whole industry that relies on it. Not to mention the subsistence uses of all of our indigenous people that rely on that from that point downstream. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Chair.
And you said earlier that the IJC's subcommittees have a sunset in 2 years.
The study commission does, yes.
So they're basically delaying and letting mining happen for definitely 2 years more, for
Well,
sure.
the one thing that I didn't realize that was there that, you know, back in the day when we were pushing on this quite a bit, and all our Kootenai tribes were, in 2013, finally the British Columbia government came down on Teck Mining and fined them. They fined them $13 million for the first time for violating the Canadian Fisheries Act and their own local BC water pollution standards. Nothing to do with the US, like it's triple the violation of our Clean Water Act standards for Lake Kootenai. It's they fined them. And we thought, well, that went on through, and then they were to create an area-based management plan to kind of talk about the entire valley, not just one mine, but the cumulative effects of all the mines and all the old mines that have been there for the last 100 years, the cumulative effects in this area-based management plan. But I found out when we were there Monday morning is that they haven't paid that $13 million fine. They're actually fighting. They've been fighting that $13 million. They paid only a small fraction of it. And I just said, what? And we're talking about companies that are, well, Glencore, that bottom out, is the largest mining company in the world. And their gross profits are in the, I don't know what,
60 billion.
yeah, incredible. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, 13 million. That I would have thought they'd have just wrote a check and went on with business.
They're so cheap, they didn't even write the check.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. That's our walk-ins and our preliminary, so
Just wanted to just really quickly acknowledge a long-term employee that's passed on, and that was Janine Padilla. Janine has been with us for, oh geez, a number of years, working upstairs at administration. I was just reading about this the other day. So I just wanted to acknowledge her, and I think the family has are doing a celebration of life on July 11th, and at that time I would like to flag the flags to be flown at half mast for her, because like I mentioned, Janine dedicated a good portion of her life working for the tribes upstairs in administration, and she was a very humble employee, and so I just wanted to mention that to council. Thank you.
Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. That along with that, Diane Klein Johnson passed away also, and she had a 40-year plus career with the tribe's natural resource department. And her services, I think, are Friday. Is that right, Carol? It's Friday. But I would request the same consideration for Diane.
James.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge the passing of Pat Williams, longest serving congressman for the state of Montana. He was a very crucial ally of the tribes over his entire service. One funny story about him that I remember, he was telling me when I was chairman, he said, well, I was trying to get hold of Mickey Pablo when he was chairman, and got a hold of Mickey. Mickey, I've been trying to call you on your cell phone for weeks. So oh, it's in the trunk of my car. So I don't use that thing. But Pat Williams, definitely a friend of our tribes and real crucial in a lot of ways. And I want to acknowledge that passing of a good friend of our tribes.
Tom,
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, James, for bringing that up. Yeah, Pat Williams was a legacy in himself. He is the reason why we have wilderness areas in Montana. It was him that helped create the Rattlesnake Wilderness and the Mission Mountain Federal Wilderness on the other side, and just he was a great proponent of all of our tribal issues, and as an educator that turned into a politician from Butte, Montana. He really thought about everybody. He was totally inclusive, and he will be missed. And I appreciate his family, his wife Carol, and who's been again stepped into the arena of politics for a while. But part of that family is also part of why we have skate parks. Where skate parks are here, that's the Williams family, and working with with Pearl Jam with Jeff. So I would recommend that we do whatever we can to support the services and offer our condolences as a tribe to the Williams family.
Did you want me to send flowers?
well, thank you all. With that, we can move on. Chuck, come on up. Morning.
And Lisa is on Zoom too.
Morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, council members. We're here today to get a chairman's signature on a letter to the NTIA. This letter acts as a award action request to add MRC trucking to our application on our NTIA grant. They were selected to do the demolition services of the Old People Center here in Pablo. And some of you might have seen they're out there working right now. So this is just kind of just some paperwork that we need to do for the grant. So. Okay.
Any questions for Chuck? Yeah, is there any objection to sending the letter? Go ahead, James.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. What will they do with all the material after they remove it? Where's it going?
Most of this stuff is going to the tribal landfill. There was hardly any. We did have John Nice and contractors look to see if there's anything salvageable. It was minimal, less than $500. So
Motion, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Motion by James to approve putting the letter out. Second by Tom. All in favor? We're unanimous. Thank you, Chuck.
all right. We'll probably be doing this quite a few more times. So our grant's wrapping up. So I'll be selecting more contractors. Thank you, guys.
Have a good day. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Morning, Holly.
Good morning. We're just in really quick to ask for approval of resolutions for some land sales that Stormy is diligently working on getting finished up. And these are the ones for Joseph and Kathy Felsman.
Is this the parcel adjacent to the bison range?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one piece, but technically two tracks. There's a 62.5 acre part, and then across the tracks is a 17.5. And you guys made a motion to move ahead with the purchase, and yeah, we just,
Okay, I'll make that motion.
okay,
I think we got, what, 3 resolutions?
4.
4?
So it'll be half interest for in each tract of 2395 and 2395B for Joseph and Kathy Felsman in each tract.
Second.
Motion by Lynn, second by James, guess for all 4 tracks. That work?
Sure.
All in favor? We're unanimous.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a good day.
Jordan, did you need executive?
Morning, Jordan.
Nervous. Well, good morning, Tribal Council. Good to see you all this morning. We have a quick issue for you this morning. It's a letter of support for a USDA grant that Mission West is submitting. So with me this morning, I see we have Blake. He's going to give just a quick breakdown of what we're looking to do here. Go ahead, Blake.
Thank you very much, Jordan, and good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me just fine?
We do. Thank you.
Great. As Jordan said, my name is Blake Limeweaver, and I'm the Local Food Promotion Program Manager at Mission West Community Development Partners. If you aren't familiar with our work, we are a nonprofit community development organization based in Ronan, with the mission of improving economic opportunity and the quality of life for our communities in Lake Sanders and Mineral counties in the Flathead Nation. One way we accomplish this mission is through supporting the development of our local and regional food system. Housed within Mission West is the state's only USDA and FDA inspected shared use food processing facility. And in our facility over the last 4 years, we've assembled food boxes supplied with nutritious local foods for tribal members in collaboration with CSKT Food Sovereignty and the Food Distribution Program. So as a continuation of this collective effort to feed our communities healthy locally sourced food, Mission West is asking today for a letter of support from CSKT for a regional food system partnership grant through USDA AMS. The goal of this 2-year planning and design grant is to form a regional partnership with public, private, and tribal entities to perform a feasibility assessment of our local food supply and the opportunities and challenges to incorporating more fresh local food into institutions, such as K through 12 schools, hospitals, universities, and tribal food programs. And if funded, the project would start in October 2025 and end September 2027. Through CSKT's involvement in the partnership, Dana Hewenkorn, who serves as the program manager for CSKT Food Sovereignty, would participate on the partnership's leadership team. In the first year of the project, Dana would provide food utilization inventory for large volume tribal food programs and collaborate with partners to identify opportunities for including local foods in these programs. Salish Kootenai College Extension and CSKT collected this preliminary information in 2019, which would be updated as a part of this project. And some of the other partners involved include the Western Montana Growers Cooperative, University of Montana Campus Dining, Providence St. Patrick Hospital, and the Montana Office of Public Instruction. In the 3rd year of the grant, the partnership team will organize a 3-year action plan that will identify and address priority areas for future investment in the regional food system in order to supply more local food to our communities. So that's pretty much the project. Thank you for considering the letter, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
This one, I'm just drawing a blank. What is USDA? What's AMS stand for?
That would be the Agricultural Marketing Service.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Blake? Go ahead.
Just to give you guys some more context, Mission West has been really a great partner for CSKT and our food sovereignty program. They do a lot of the food box preparation, have a lot of relationships with local producers that we really like to take advantage of instead of going to Costco or, you know, the big food distributors that bring food from the outside in. Mission West is a really good partner to help us identify where we can purchase food locally and get that out to our membership. So we think through this, we can just identify where the needs are and kind of help better serve our community with local healthy foods. And then I did share a letter with Jen just a few minutes ago. So yeah, thanks, Jen.
Is there any objection to moving forward with a letter of support, Mission West? I think we have consensus to move forward with the letter.
All right, we'll get that your way, Blake. Thank you. And thank you, council.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Jordan.
Can we go into executive?
We will go out of regular into executive. We're out of executive into regular. Morning, Natalie. Morning, Patricia. Come on up. Yeah. Good morning. Morning, Natalie.
Okay. I'm here today for, oh, sorry.
Before we get started on the issue, Natalie, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. So are we able to use the work enforcement program to provide powwow security again? Is that how that's gonna work?
We have been in the past and I just checked, Arlie, it's through the workforce and, program. And Arlie, they closed, I think, yesterday. I don't know how many applied. We did have one who was doing a change of duty from social services who we have on our program. And she doesn't have enough hours, so she'll do our leap powwow. And I think we had another gentleman apply. They go through, they have to be, there needs to be enough time for them to do the background and the police check. And I heard that Elmo's powwow for security, that closes next Tuesday, I believe. So that they have time to do their checks before they get hired.
All right. Thank you, Natalie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can go ahead.
Okay, so I'm here today for a resolution on our 477 plan specifically for TANF. Our current plan is has been approved by all our federal partners for 5 years, with the exception of the TANF portion. That one, they can only award every 3 years. And so we've been meeting with our people in what they wanted or could change in 477, and the major portion in regards to our cash assistance program was increasing the grants, the grant amount. So when I did the last 477 plan, I used, I believe it was 22's federal poverty guidelines. And so I looked at 25's. And so it would, for a single person, it will increase the grant $60, which would help due to the increase in food and rent and electricity. So I was wanting to see if we can get approval on that part of our plan too. And in this plan that we have going forward, there is a time limit for our TANF participants. That's 60 months in their lifetime. And general assistance, which is part of our cash assistance program, they are limited to 4 months out of the year to receive our employables. And so with our homelessness that we have here, we're asking for a waiver from those federal partners to increase the time limit if they're dealing with chronic homelessness to 24 months to help them start saving to get into not their own home, but a rental, which is we're having a hard time finding. Pardon? Yes,
from 4 months to 24 months.
huge leap on that one.
Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, Natalie, I know you're working with other people on this. Do you agree with the changes in the plan that are being recommended?
Yes. Yeah, I feel that there needs to be an increase in the grant amount because currently the state of Montana's grants are higher than ours.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Tom?
Yeah, this question, I mean, before you were using data from years ago, you're trying to bring it up.
Yes.
Is there any way that based on, changes every year that it could be adjusted every year to reflect inflation and all the things coming at us?
Mhm. In the plan, I did put in there that with approval from tribal council, we can increase the grant and it wouldn't have to go through our federal partners.
Any other questions? Then go
This is a
ahead.
side note question, Natalie, in regards to next year's proposed federal budget, have we identified which programs are going to be impacted?
Not in regards to our 477 programs, our current programs.
Okay.
We've had meetings, the tribal work group has had meetings, but we haven't really addressed that yet. We were scheduled for an regional conference in a few months, but they canceled that. Our national conference was also canceled. So I'm sure we'll probably get together on a Zoom meeting and discuss what grants will be impacted. And we will let you guys know.
Okay.
What?
Thank you, Natalie.
Tom and then Carol.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Glad you brought that up, Lynn, because what really concerns me as we move forward in our low income population and they're paying their power bills, heating and we have costs going up from Housing Authority, Mission Valley Power, and who knows what else things are going up. How does this really reflect that consideration? I mean, how can we dummy proof this to try to make sure that if those funds go away and there's no more energy assistant funds, how is this going to be, help make up that difference? Or is it even possible? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd be able to make up the difference. We do have in our cash assistance program, and we do have like an emergency assistance from the Office of Community Support where we can assist short term, but I don't see us being able to carry people through, and they're income based. And I don't see it carrying people through the winter months. What has happened in the past in regards with LEAP is LEAP would have them approved through March and then dire need and OCS would get hit hard in April because they hadn't planned for it to end that soon. And then they would be able to start picking up their own bills again until the following year.
Carol.
Well, I really think we need to look at the EKI money that was going to be set aside for individuals for power bills. I have that wrong.
I'm not sure exactly.
Remember, they were gonna pay us a subsidy for the low cost block to help offset the cost of our tribal members' bills. Anybody else remember that? No? Okay, it's a part of the dividend. So what I would like to see us do is set that part of the dividend aside and use it as our new LEAP option. Because they're cutting it, right? That's what I understand.
That's what I seen yesterday.
And so what was it, about $1 million?
It was,
More?
yeah, if what I seen on Trump's budget, they were looking at getting rid of LEAP.
Okay, yeah, that's the question, but
Mhm.
how much is the budget? So if we take it out of that dividend, what would it be? How
For-
much?
For
How-
LEAP,
How much do you get a year for LEAP?
I have, that's not under,
You.
right.
Diane? You know,
A little over $1 million.
and I don't think that's gonna hurt us that much. I mean, it will, but it won't. To take some money out of there and put it in this account for the most neediest people we have. I mean, we kept talking about we were gonna do this, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, nobody remembers that we were gonna do this. I mean, I know they remember, but it's
Mhm.
like they don't wanna do it. And I don't understand probably because it doesn't serve everybody, it just serves just a number of people that are in the real neediest.
Mhm.
But still, what are we gonna do when they have no power? I mean, it is, to me, that is scary, and it's probably the people with that are older, that are on a fixed income and will not be able to pay a power bill.
Yes.
But I'd like to see us do it. I'd make the motion.
There was $100 in here somewhere, I know. Go, Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Carol, Greg put together a budget that we approved to one payment that's gonna go out for the consumer block of power to reimburse. I think it was based on just low income, this one. So that's in there. It's actually coming out this year yet. I think it was under $100,000 the total payment. Right. Well, one question about LEAP is, if it goes away completely, but isn't that like what you use to describe your client base? And if that data source is gone, what do you do then?
For our clients,
Yeah, yeah.
we've based ours on, if I recall right, on our TANF, the temporary assistance for needy families. That was our major, and that's our major funding is from the HHS TANF, tribal TANF funds.
Well, to get back to the 477 plan. Is there any more questions for Natalie? Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, is the plan actually approved? Did you get all the modifications that you needed, or is that what you need is approval to request the modifications?
Request the modifications.
Of
The plan, yeah, the plan has been approved, and yeah, we're just requesting modifications.
Would entertain a motion to look at the modifications they're proposing to the 477 plan. Motion by Len, second by James. All in favor? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Morning, Corky. And everybody. Yeah.
I know it's not the final.
Where are we at here? We are here today to present the DHRD org chart that we've had numerous attempts to get this done, and we believe that it's the final stage, and I think it's been worked on. I think there's only 2 positions that were added to the org chart.
You can move it. Your charts, you're on resolution. Oh, I need to try. Nope. I'll get it up there. Go ahead.
Okay. And so that's what we're here today for. And if there's any questions for division managers, we're mostly all here except for one from social services. So we're here to present the org chart. There's two charts. There was one that is the original org chart, and then there's one, I believe, that was turned in that had the individuals' names of the employees' names that were that were in there. So I think you wanted both copies of those, and so that's what we're here today for. I don't believe there's been any changes except for the two individuals that were added to the finance and grants division. And that's for a grant that was due to start last October 2024. So that's one thing that's we're holding up on is getting those individuals so they can advertise for the position and get those started. Karen has also been in touch with the funding agency, and I believe everything is okay to continue where we're at today.
Go ahead, James.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the changes on the organization chart.
Got a motion by James. Second by Jimmy. Any other question?
And so just trying to think back on our previous conversation. So what was the grant? What was the amount of the grant? What was the tenure of the grant? And what were the deliverables?
That particular grant that Corky was talking about is the Tribal State Partnership Grant. It really is an opportunity for CSKT to look at our administration of the ICWA program and improve that relationship and processes with the state. And Myra is overseeing that particular fund source as we try to get the position ready.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, great question. Myra, is that about a $200,000 a year grant? 450? It's 450 and that's over a 4-year period.
4 years? Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor? Danielle? We got 9-4 and Carol abstains. Yep.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Person that you have isn't on yet? No, it's not till 11, but can I get Greg's bar in really quick?
Yeah, Greg coming in. Martin,
We're in open.
we are in.
One thing I was meant to bring up, and I apologize for not doing it well. Anyway, there's a disc golf tournament in Missoula. It's I forget what person they're memorializing, but it's a memorial tournament. Gold sponsorship is $250. We get our logo and name on a hole and then on all the merch. So was asking about that. There's also a tournament over at SKC in about 3 weeks. Was wondering about the same sponsorship for that as well. The previous director always said I didn't need council approval, but I always like to run things through. So thank you.
Couple sponsorships for 2 disc golf tournament. Any objections? Disc golf. Well, I would entertain a motion Motion by Carol to support the sponsorship to the 2 tournaments. Any second? Second by Bing. All in favor? Yeah, Lynn? I got Danielle, Jimmy in favor. Who else in favor? Tom, Jim. 8 in favor and opposed? Len and Jennifer. Thank you. So we don't have the next, oh, Greg's coming down. I don't know. Tom, go ahead.
Just one question in relation to the activities like that, and I think Jen handles all this, but you know, someone's promoting or gonna put on a basketball tournament, or I just make an assumption that they fill out the paperwork and we provide that minimum, whatever the amount is. So I think that's been the historical record. So I think that's probably why they said that before, since you're playing in it, or you were. But I just made that assumption that we always support these youth activities, or, you know, things that are active, that are healthy lifestyles, and, you know, to help support whatever it might be, a golf tournament or disc golf or basketball tournament or softball tournament, that we powwows, we would just automatically make our minimal donation to that if they make the request. That's just my understanding. That's what I thought we were doing, but thank you.
Good, Carol.
Feel like if we can support the governor, and I know it's all political and we have to do those kind of things, but you can do that. You can definitely do 50 for youth and other things. Yes.
So what Greg's looking at doing is getting some of our monies that are in ETFA transferred to an investment firm that's much more liquid to us, is what he's looking to do. So. Come on up, Greg.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Vice
Good
Chairman,
morning.
members of council. Thanks for accommodating this request. We spoke on Monday about drawing down some additional funds from the water compact account so that they would be on hand with the tribes and available as those needs proceed or come to fruition. This cover letter and this package is the resolution that has gone through the legal department articulating the tribe's position on having, pardon me, do I have access here? Okay. The resolution outlines some of the historical characteristics of the water compact itself. It goes on to talk a little bit about Section 7 activities under the Montana Water Rights Protection Act. It goes on to describe some of the characteristics of the current environment and where the federal government is experiencing unprecedented turmoil, and some of the counterparties that we that we rely on in order to get distributions from BTFA. And legal has given us guidance here and helped provide the wording here so that the request to BTFA to transition some of the individual securities out of their custody and into the custody of our investment account at Charles Schwab, so that we can be clipping those coupons, generating that income. And then if the contracts that have been signed already by Department of Engineering and Water Resources start needing that funding, we have it and we have really close access to it rather than seeking reimbursement or distribution from BTFA. So the resolution outlines those concerns, as well as talks a little bit about the lack of certainty in our federal counterparts, and goes on to outline that tribal council wishes to have a distribution of the securities held at BTFA, which means move the bonds, not sell and ship. The next part here is a outline of those securities. They amount to about $330 million worth of securities that we can bring over. They will generate ongoing coupon rates of interest. Here are their stated maturities, and when they come due, we can either reinvest them or use them as needed based on what doers' ongoing concerns are. The top sheet here is the cover letter that would go with the resolution to Pam Jurgensen, who's my counterparty, outlining what the resolution says, the attachment, and then the DTC instructions to move those across. I've had conversations with Schwab and they're ready to accept them in a seamless fashion.
Questions? Tom?
So there's no change in the projected interest?
These securities would come over as they are
As they are.
currently held. Yes, sir. No
Just-
change. Their coupons will
Just
be.
a little bit more liquid.
How'd
you come up?
here rather than there.
How did you come up with the amount?
So the amount is representative of the securities that come due between now and 2030. Securities that come due between now and 2030 that we've already acquired, it seems if I'm matching the securities that we want to draw down with what the perception is of the turmoil in the current administration and the lack of counterparties, I think that drawing down the next 4.5 years worth of funding makes sense. And this should generate about another $25 or $30 million worth of interest between now and their ultimate maturities. This is not even considering the next 5 or 6 years worth of distributions and indexing. This seemed like a reasonable place to start.
Yeah, we'll make a motion.
Motion by Tom? Oh,
Carol makes a motion. I'll second it.
motion by Carol, second by Tom. Need to be louder. James?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a question. You know, talking about the craziness and the utter chaos in DC, is there a point in time, Greg, where we might consider investments in an ally country that our president has now declared an enemy? You know, maybe there's something in Canada that's a better investment, or Australia or New Zealand, or I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible, but are there times that we might consider a more stable government to put our investments in as opposed to our current administration? Since every one of our allies is basically an enemy and all of our foes are basically our allies now. Just a pondering.
All in favor? At 9-4 with Jennifer out of the room. Carol?
When are we gonna talk about the credit position? Because I think now that the position is vacant, the next person in line can. I don't know who that is, but is that under Greg's authority to do?
I'm definitely supervised by Greg right now. We haven't had that discussion.
I'm gonna head over.
We can schedule that probably for next Tuesday then. Got the letter. I guess the
good.
resolution has to be numbered and then we'll get in.
Yes, sir. Are there any questions for me?
Anything else for Greg?
Have a good. Beg your pardon, sir?
Can we go into executive after Greg's?
We will go out of regular into executive. Ahoy, Bill Martin. Have a good lunch. We're done.